And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Daren, Jaime. Today, we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough, as well as across New York City. Coming up, we'll delve into the importance of selecting the right life insurance. We'll ask you to stay tuned for more details a little bit later on in the show. And then next, we'll sit down with an organization that's pioneering innovative learning solutions tailored to individual needs. Then we'll spotlight a pastry shop that is celebrating 75 years of preserving old school Italian baking traditions in homes everywhere. And then following that, we'll discuss how a not-for-profit organization is providing essential connections to a wide array of treatment programs for substance use disorders. And then lastly, we'll provide some families with some much-needed tips on how to maximize their summer months. Yes, summer is here, including those precious ideas for staycations, travel, quality time together. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I am Daren, Jaime. You are now watching Open, a live program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. Now you can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on through the course of the past week. We'll take you through it with our Bronx updates. And we kick off with transportation news. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced more New Yorkers can now get 50% off of subway and bus fares thanks to an expansion of the Fair Fares program coming up in next year's budget. Now, the program will now include individuals and families earning up to 145% of the federal poverty level, residents of New York City who are aged 18 to 64 who meet the income criteria are urged to apply. Now, the program covers Metro cards and accessorized services, offering discounted rates of 50% for single ride, 7-day, 30-day, and unlimited swipes on subways, as well as eligible buses. In other news, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul visited the Bronx, announcing an $8 million capital commitment, funding a project for expanding a clinic at the Morris Heights Health Center. Our BronxNet reporter, Kibben Nerline, brings us the details.
This is an issue that a lot of people don't talk about because it may not affect their community.
New York State Governor Kathy Hochul visits the Bronx with a life-saving announcement toward prioritizing maternal health care.
Today we're announcing an $8 million investment in the Morris Heights Health Center. I just toured it with the CEO this morning. We're going to create a maternal health center of excellence. The Bronx deserves to have this center of excellence. It is long overdue.
It's a full circle moment for Bronx resident Bruce McIntyre, a father who lost his partner Amber Rose Isaac in 2020. Over the past 4 years, McIntyre has worked to bring awareness to the issue of maternal mortality. The founder of the Save a Rose Foundation, an organization created in Isaac's memory, expressed immense gratitude for the advancement in maternal justice.
Jumping into this work 4 years ago, there weren't many resources available, made available, and there was also a lack of education around maternal health. Midwives and doulas and what they do. So I'm very excited that there's going to be funds allocated towards that, and that funds are also going to be allocated towards, maternal health, which I'm hoping that funds will be allocated towards the freestanding midwifery birthing center that we're trying to bring to fruition as well.
This entire initiative is a crucial step toward addressing the alarmingly high rates of maternal mortality faced by Black and brown women in the Bronx. Further improving maternal health, Governor Hochul emphasized that New York is leading the nation by establishing a new policy to reduce the cost of prenatal care for over 1 million low-income New Yorkers, ensuring that women in New York have access to these resources.
Women that look like us have died during childbirth because of pregnancy complications. And we are honoring their work, and we are making sure that their deaths are not in vain. And so I'm grateful, Madam Governor, that you were here. I'm grateful that of all the places our governor could have been in 62 counties in the state of New York, she's here in the Bronx.
The policy takes effect on January 1st, 2025, and the addition to the Morris Heights Health Center is expected to begin assisting Bronx parents in 2027. Reporting for BronxNet, Kibben Aline.
And thank you, Kibben. Staying along city news, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul also announced a $517.5 million initiative aimed at rebuilding bridges along the Bronx River Parkway. The project that's slated for completion in spring of 2028 responds to the increasing impacts of climate change on the region's infrastructure. Now, the governor emphasized the necessity of upgrading surrounding roadways to ensure resilience against severe weather and accommodate all users, including pedestrians as well as cyclists. Last September, heavy rainfall flooded the Bronx River Parkway, leading to disruptions on multiple Metro North lines, and the number 6 train. Now, in response, the governor declared a state of emergency for New York City, the Hudson Valley, and Long Island. The project targets 2 bridges south of the Bronx Zoo, the Bronx River Parkway bridges over East Tremont Avenue and East 180th Street, and Morris Park Avenue, both originally built in 1951 and nearing the end of their service lives. Now, funding for the initiative is sourced from President Joe Biden's Federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That is all the time we have for our Bronx updates, but guess what? We are not out of show. We got a whole lot ahead. Stay with us. We got more open when we return.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
And we are back. It's important to remember that while you should enjoy everything life has to offer, it's also crucial to prepare for what happens when you die. A life insurance policy provides essential protection for you as well as your family. And choosing the right type of life insurance can be quite confusing. But joining me now with some information is financial policy advocate at Consumer Reports, Chuck Bell. And Chuck, good to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And I think that's something we talk about in the beginning. So many people are just enjoying life, but then when it comes time that death occurs, life insurance is brought into question, and many times families aren't adequately prepared. So when it comes to choosing life insurance, are we finding that more and more people are making that decision, or a lot of people still on the fence in terms of choosing a policy?
Well, life insurance is unusual in a number of ways, and one of them is people have said it's a product that's sold, not purchased,
Right.
By which I mean people often approach you to offer life insurance A lot of times the consumer is not going out there and actively researching their options and making a deliberate decision. And it's not pleasant to think about our own death. You know, with other types of insurance like car insurance or home insurance, you can see the value of the assets you're protecting. If they're damaged, you see them get repaired or replaced. With life insurance, we're talking about your own life.
Right.
And so if you were to suddenly depart from the earth, would your household have enough money to pay your rent and your mortgage? Would you have enough money to help put your kids through college? That's the importance of life insurance, really, is to plan for unexpected death, as well as, you know, perhaps build some money up for the future and have some death benefit at the end of your life.
And you talked about it earlier, how sometimes families are bought to the place where they're actually being sold, you know, and life insurance companies are coming and saying, listen, this can be overwhelming, actually, for a family. So how do you get down to break down to which exactly is the best life insurance policy for your person?
Yeah, what I would recommend is people go to an independent website like Investopedia or US News and WorldReport.com, where there's a good explanation of what the different types of products that are available, and also some quotes or, you know, ratings of different policies where you can compare your choices. You don't want to go with the first person or salesperson that comes along. You want to do some homework and research your choices. And it's okay to say to these people, hey, I'm in research mode right now. I'm gathering information. I want to see how your policies stack up to what other folks have to offer.
Yeah, and that's good advice right there. When we talk about life insurance, though, it's a little bit more than just choosing life insurance, because it's also really, as you mentioned, financial planning.
Exactly. I mean, it also factors into what other financial plans are you making? Do you have a 401k or a retirement plan at your job that you're putting money aside for? Because that's going to affect your savings and your wealth building as well. But for many people, the important thing to do is to have enough life insurance when your kids are young. And so if something happens to you, there's enough money to help support them and keep the household going. What would be the burden or impact on your partner if you happen to pass away? And it's not something that many of us think about, but term life insurance, which is a short-term type of life insurance that you get for 5 to 20 years, will help cover that contingency. And then when you're older and your kids have grown up and they're off on their own with their own salaries, they've gotten through college, you've paid off your mortgage, there's probably less need for life insurance at that point. You can focus on the other types of wealth building, like supporting a home or focusing on your retirement plan and mutual funds.
But it really is a safety net for families, really, of many ways, because when we look at it, it's not just about the burial per se. It's more about making sure there's some financial stability that goes on for your loved ones, and really passing down you know, something that they'll be able to subside with.
Absolutely. And so in the beginning, you want to research what your needs are, how much replacement income you think you're going to need, how much for burial, and so on and so forth. And then you want to search for the coverage with that amount in mind. Social Security has some survivor benefits programs, so that will provide some support to many households, but it's not going to be enough to cover some of the basic expenses that you're probably already paying right now. And you also have to consider how much room do you have in your budget to pay premiums for life insurance, because it's really tough for people now.
Yeah, and the rates are increasing, of course. And talk about since COVID. Let's talk about what's happened since COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I think COVID underscores the fact that you could pass away unexpectedly. I mean, the life insurance system and the industry is going to be fine. They're adjusting to the situation. They have actuaries that figure out the risks of death and so forth. But for a lot of people, you can get, you know, good term coverage for, you know, $50, $60 premium per month, right? So US News lists a number of these policies on their website. So I would suggest going to a website like that and really understanding the industry. There are many different types of life products. It's very complex, so it's important to really do your homework in the beginning and get a general understanding, not working just with one person from the industry who might steer you in the wrong direction.
Yeah. One thing I love about Consumer Reports, Chuck, is the fact you guys really take a look at, you know, some of the trends that consumers are looking at or businesses are looking at. So I can't let you leave without talking about trends for a minute. Are there any trends that we are looking at in terms of life insurance from the consumer?
Well, one area where I think we're starting to break through and make some progress is more and more people are seeking out financial planners. There's a thing called the Certified Financial Planner designation, where you can get somebody who's an independent person who works for either a commission or fee for service, but works just for you. And that industry has grown, and there's a website called Let's Make a Plan. where you can get referred to a certified financial planner. So I think the idea of people getting their own independent financial advice, not tied to the fortunes of a particular company, is a really important thing, because people earn big commissions for selling life insurance, and unfortunately not everybody's going to do what's in your best financial interest. You have to really shop it and get 3 to 5 quotes and look at the policies head to head, make an apples to apples comparison.
What's the biggest thing you tell consumers when it comes to this?
Get started. You know, I think the challenge is that people say, I'd like to do that someday, but keep putting it off. You can start today. You can start to go to some of these websites. You can reach out, maybe find a friend who uses a financial planner. See if you can go get a meeting with that person and get some advice and some ideas on how to get started.
Because after COVID, I'm sure that more and more people are saying, listen, I got to take a look at this and get about it.
Yeah, I think in the old days, honestly, life insurance was often sold to you during the coffee hour after church.
Right.
And we don't have that quite as much as we used to. It's harder for the companies to reach consumers. They're doing more advertising on the internet, but there's less in-person contact to make the sale. So sales have been probably declining a bit. And, but it puts the consumer in a position where they can ask more questions and reach out to companies more proactively on their own.
Chuck, good to see you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Daren.
you. All right, Chuck Bell, policy advocate for Consumer Reports, joining us here, talking about life insurance. Now, if you want more information, visit the website at consumerreports.org and then follow them on social media at Consumer Reports. We encourage you don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this. Back. LearnUP Solutions is dedicated to empowering students of all backgrounds to reach their full potential. Their latest initiative, SimplifyIEP.AI, leverages AI chat technology to guide families through the complexities of the special education journey and individualized education program process. And here now, we got sharing more, the founder and the CEO of LearnUP Solutions, Brittany Hamlett. And thank you so much for joining us, Brittany.
Thank you for having me.
So when we talk about IEPs in special education, really a lot of parents and students find themselves in this vacuum. And we know that navigating that vacuum can be hard, but through your work, you're trying to help to simplify the process.
Absolutely. So I'm a mom myself, and I was an educator for 7 years where I was teaching all kids from all backgrounds here in the Bronx and the Pelham Bay area. And a lot of the conversations that I had with parents, you know, they were just confused about the process. If I mentioned special education, there's a lot of taboo in certain immigrant communities and, you know, just the culture. So for them to understand what special education means, what it means to get your kids the proper services, you know, what classification of a disability their child has. Like, that is a very difficult and emotional conversation. And so what Simplify IEP does is it helps them to ask their questions there, and they can get their personalized answers from vetted websites and from the New York State compliance websites, where we are specifically bringing them the information that they need for their particular situation. And then we provide the action plans for them and other services like consultations. They can book one-on-one calls with us, and we can walk them through this information that they're getting.
So, in many ways, when we talk about accessibility, right?
Yes.
It wasn't always present, right? And now there's more accessibility to be able to navigate. What are some of the biggest challenges that you were finding that, you know, parents were having when it comes to trying to go through the special education corridor? Because, as you said, emotionally overwhelming, you know, mentally overwhelming, and then really trying to wrap your mind around where are we?
Exactly. So getting an IEP, an individualized education plan for your child, is a long process. You know, it starts, you know, the parent has to give consent in order for this evaluation to begin. The child has to be observed. The teachers have to present a lot of information to show that this student needs some more, you know, services. They need more support, and that could be academic and social. It could be counseling. There's so many levels of that, and I went through that. Like, as a mom, my son is autistic, and so this is a long, drawn-out process that can be very confusing. You're getting information that you don't understand. I mean, one of the highest classifications, the highest classifications on IEPs here in the DOE in New York City is speech and language impairment. What does that mean? You know, there's so many different disabilities underneath that. It could be aphasia, aphasia, you know, dyspraxia. What does that mean? And parents are very confused, and it's just not being explained to them in a way. They have a lot of questions that they feel like they can't answer, and they're scared to answer. Another issue, another challenge that I find is, like I said, the immigrant communities, where there's a language barrier. There's a complexity around doing this process that they need more support, and they need to understand it in their language, but also understanding that it's not taboo.
Right. So for yourself, talk about the company. How does it help people face those complexities and navigate them?
Sure. So we have the Simplify IEP as our chatbot, right? And then we also have our consultation services where we can talk one-on-one. We do parent workshops with community centers and schools where we're explaining the IEP process, and parents are able to ask the questions that they want to ask. We also do workshops on, you know, teaching parents how they can support their early learners at home, you know, with the Head Start programs. How can they start with reading comprehension when your child is 2 years old? You know, you don't have to wait until they're in school to ask the teachers these questions. Like, right now we're going to the summertime. How do the parents ask their questions if teachers are on vacation? Well deserved, by the way.
Right.
So, you know, how can they do that? And that's why we have this service, and that is how we're supporting them in that kind of way.
When we talk about parents being able to ask the right kind of questions,
Yes.
obviously that in itself can, you know, be a pro and a con, because when you have parents that ask the right questions, you're okay. Parents that don't ask the right questions, obviously we know where that goes as well. The key, I believe, is going to be family engagement, right?
Exactly.
And so how do we promote family engagement around this? Because it is a sensitive area, and an area that sometimes parents, you know, really just have a hard time navigating.
So we are the bridge between the schools, between the community centers, between the learning centers, to help the parents understand that this is an ecosystem, right? The education ecosystem needs to function with the parent engagement and parent knowledge, as well as the expertise of the schools and the community centers providing the place that parents can learn, families can learn. So we're that bridge. We're connecting everything in the ecosystem.
You talk about being a parent and also
Yes.
one that's went through this before. When you had to go through it, what parts did you say, okay, when I get control and I get to put my own business together, we're going to deal with that? What part was that for you?
Ooh, that's a great question. The whole process. I think for me, when I got the news, because my son, he got early intervention services, you know, when he was, oh my God, he was like 6 months old. He was speaking in sign language, and he was, you know, communicating, and then we saw that regression at about 15 months old. And I've heard this story in talking to all of the parents and teachers, we have similar stories where they're just like, what do I do? And so I spoke to everyone. My mom is a speech language pathologist. She was like, listen, I see these things happening, go and get him services. And he did, but he was so successful in those services that when it came to time for him to go into pre-K, he didn't qualify for those services. And that is where it was extremely frustrating, because we were just like, our kid, like, we know he needs this support. He's bright, he's intelligent, but the social skills, he just didn't have them. And he had a really hard time in pre-K and then going into his community school in kindergarten and getting the IEP in kindergarten. I mean, it was such a process. Finding the information was like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I was already an educator, so being a parent, being an educator in the system, and I was like, where do I go? Right. Can you imagine someone who doesn't have this knowledge, doesn't have the resources at hand that I had? And I was able to get my son into this amazing program in the DOE that partners with NYU, and it's called the ASD Nest program. And even that was a process. So from birth until getting my son into this program when he was in 2nd grade, that is just, those are years lost.
Right.
That's time lost. And what we're trying to do is cut that time as minimally as possible to help parents get the support they need, get their kids the IEPs as quickly as they can, and know what to ask, because there's so many accommodations that parents don't even know about, and it's not even presented to them, like door-to-door busing. If your child has an IEP, you can get door-to-door busing. So these are things that we're helping to bridge the gap on.
So for people who say, listen, I like what I hear, I need to get in touch, how they go about doing that, and then also explain who's eligible for your services.
Absolutely, everyone's eligible.
Okay.
Everyone is eligible for our services. You can sign up for our newsletter. We have a lot of parent workshops that are coming out in the end of August and beginning of September, prepping parents, for these conversations. This is the time when a lot of IEPs are written or the reevaluations are done. So this is why we're having those workshops. So sign up on our website, LearnUpSolutions.com. In the meantime, you have these burning questions. You can check out simplifyiep.ai, and you can generate your action plan if you want to speak to someone, because I know that, sometimes it's just better to talk to someone. You can also schedule a one-on-one consultation. And if there are educators who are interested or school administrators, they can also contact us so that we can partner with them on how we can support their particular school community and needs.
So I know, the name of your business is LearnUp Solutions, but totally, how does it feel being a part of the solution?
I still feel like sometimes I'm like, am I really helping? But then I get the feedback from people who are like, this is incredible, thank you so much. Like, I asked the questions in your chatbot, and that helped me have the conversation with, the teacher before the school ended. Like, thank you so much. So it's like, I kind of feel like, yes, I'm happy to be a part of the solution, but I always feel like as long as I'm helping people and we're continuing to move in that direction where we're still impacting and helping people, that's what I care about. Yeah. So it's not necessarily about me. Is the problem being solved? That's my concern.
Thank you for the good work you're doing, Brittany.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All righty. Thank you. Brittany Hamlett, our guest here. Now, listen, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at LearnUpSolutions.com, and we encourage you to do that. And then don't go anywhere, because guess what? We got more open coming up right after this.
Check your pulse and turn off your phone. Get ready to be entertained. The Bronx Education is back, and we've got more youth voices, educational partnerships, exciting global discoveries with Alexi Gingertopoulos, dollar store science experiments with Dr. Whitey Black, and tons of ways for you to engage with us as we bring laughter and knowledge right to your doorstep. Me and the crew welcome you to to Season 3 of the Bronx Edgelution. The new season of the Bronx Edgelution is here. Every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Channel 67 Optimum, 2133 Fios.
And we're back. According to data from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, this 2022 data, the Bronx, the highest number of fatal opioid overdoses in New York City. One of the neighborhoods most impacted by the crisis is Mott Haven, which is home to the Samaritan Daytop Village's Peer Alliance Recovery Center. Now, for over 60 years, Samaritan Daytop Village has been improving the quality of life for New Yorkers. And joining us now to talk a little bit more about this, we've got Samaritan Daytop Village's Parks Assistant Director, Annette Evans, and we also got peer recovery professional, Jesus Hernandez. And thank you for joining us and being here with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I'm glad to have you, but the conversation is a little intense, right? I mean, when we talk about what's going on here in our boroughs, we said the Bronx lead New York City when it comes to opioid overdoses. What are you seeing on your end?
So thank you again for having us. On our end, we see a huge amount of people on the streets consistently using, actively using, and in need of services and support. We see a lot of people who might need the support, have barriers in coming in to ask for it, or not know where to go to get the help they need.
Yeah. Jesus, on your end?
Well, we do a lot of what we call boots on the ground, and we go right into the heart of the neighborhood and really meet the participants where they're at. And we're there to try to assist them, and if they're resistant to coming in for the services, we try to make sure that they're able to use safely while they're out there.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is really to eliminate it, but also reduction at the same time, right? And so for yourself, boots on the ground, when you're having these conversations and you're trying to get people into the area of reduction, talk to me a little bit about how it works and what that looks like.
I think for me, just being a peer, it allows me to use my lived experience. So I'm not talking to them like read something out of a book. It's something that I lived in the streets of the Bronx. So when I'm coming to them, I understand the perils that they're facing in the street. I understand that the disease and what it does to them, and that feeling of hopelessness that they have. And that's why working for Samaritan Daytop Village, it gives me the ability to give back to the community, to bring these people in and to show them through my example that it is possible to recover.
Right. And Annette, there's work being done, I mean, in the community, government, really to call attention to the my tongue is tied, opioid crisis, right? And at the same time, while we're talking about a call to action, share with us a little bit about where we are there.
So we're really in a good place there. We are utilizing every platform to address the opioid overdose epidemic, also to educate our community at every level. Government, courthouses, Department of Education, health and hospitals. We work in unification together with all human beings so that people can find out where they could get the assistance from, including but not limited to small clinics in our community. We provide opioid Narcan training, to anybody who is seeking to assist somebody in an overdose crisis. But what's more important is having the conversation openly. It's no secret, not in my backyard. That conversation is no longer available. If people want help, they need to know in every household how to get it.
There's such a stigma, though. I mean, if you're honest, right? There's such a stigma that's placed on people who deal with drugs and substance abuse. It's a hard hill to climb personally, and then it's a hard hill to really admit to people who really are out there, I need some help. But for you, you're the help, right? So why don't you share a little bit about the help that's available, services that you have, that people can be able to come and partake in?
So the help that we have available is from anywhere from returning back to school, health and healthy living, by providing health services. We have free medical services for people who may not have been connected to a doctor or healthcare. We have mental health services. We have substance use services. We help people get back to work, continue their education, increase the knowledge in the household. I mean, if we feel like if we impact one person in the household, we can change a household, we can change a community, and it can be embraced. The barriers, however, are that hard hill to climb. And if people don't know where to go, they most likely won't seek it.
Right. Jesus, for you, what was the turning point for yourself, and then also the turning point that I think that you can, that you're seeing in others that really make this change? Because it's a hard hill to climb, as we said, but many are climbing it and many are overcoming, as you.
It really was a hard hill for me to climb. You know, when I came into Samaritan Daytop Village, I was dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps, and I came in with a sense of low self-esteem and a lack of pride. And when I came into the Veterans Program at Samaritan Daytop Village, they regained my pride for having signed on the dotted line and trying to serve my country to the best of my ability. Unfortunately, the disease is what took me out of the military. Having that pride and giving me an opportunity to start my life over again was what changed my life. And I owe Samaritan Daytop Village my life. I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for that program. And so that's why I'm out there, like I say, boots on the ground as a Marine, because we go out there, we train people with the Narcan kits, and these Narcan kits help save lives. I can't be everywhere at all times, but the more people that we train, the more boots on the ground, the more ground we can cover.
Right. Talk to us about Narcan. For somebody who may not be so familiar with Narcan, how does it work? And I know because I have Narcan training, but I want you to tell the people how it works.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, the short version, it's called naloxone, but it's more formally known as Narcan on the streets. And it's basically, it's a nasal dispenser that we use. And the most important thing about it is the 3 Ps. So we peel the back, we place it into the nostril, and we push it. And then usually within the first dose, we'd like to see that they're gonna come back from the overdose. Unfortunately, with the amount of fentanyl and xylazine and other new drugs that are coming into the borough, it's taking upwards of 4 more doses of Narcan in order to bring people back. That's why we need the help.
So when we talk about what we see on the street right now, we know about crack, we know about marijuana. Can we give me some comparison? How bad are we seeing fentanyl, opioid overdose? I mean, you're shaking your head like, yeah.
So it's very heart-wrenching. Unfortunately, we're seeing large amounts of overdoses. I believe the statistics from 2022 is like 831 deaths, overdose deaths. That is not always captured, unfortunately. We do get the statistics from the Department of Health and also from the coroner's office, you know, when there's an autopsy. All I can say is that we have to educate our community as to what they're using. We have in our facility at Peer Alliance Recovery Center in the Bronx, 510 Cortlandt Avenue, and in Queens, we have a harm reduction vending machine. We provide wound care kits to folks. We send them to places safely to use. At that location, which a lot of people are against with the stigma, is that we're promoting use. No, we know that people are going to continue to use. If we can reduce health problems such as hepatitis C, overdose deaths in the safe injection sites, people can actually meet with a nurse, meet with a peer, go into treatment, and it has been helpful to save and reduce the number of overdoses that we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really heart-wrenching.
For yourself, obviously, you know, seeing people, talk about that tug of war sometimes, because you know what it's like to say, I'm on this side, but you also know what it's like to say, I'm refusing treatment.
Yes, well, you know, in Samaritan Daytop Village, where they taught me how to become a recovery coach, we learned to overcome our biases. Like for me, I believe in complete abstinence. But I remember when I was out there and I was using, I didn't want to hear that at the time because I couldn't hear the message at the time. So meeting them where they're at and just letting them understand that if they continue on this path, it's basically it's like playing Russian roulette out there, because the next one could be the last one. And sometimes you have to get that real with them to let them know, because this is not a game. This is a life or death situation, and we're here to save lives.
Yeah. Hey, Susan, I gotta leave it there. Congratulations, and we celebrate you on your journey.
Thanks
very
much.
Annette, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Good to see you in person.
We're excited. Yes, yes.
All right, listen, now if you want more information, go ahead and visit the SamaritanVillage.org website. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.
Hey, creative family. My name is Timothy Coleman, and I'm the Director of Education here at BronxNet. And I'm standing in BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx because I want to let you know about an amazing program that we're bringing back that highlights the creativity of community members just like you. Emerging Media Makers is a show that introduces you to BronxNet's certified producers. They've taken a step in their creative journey by enrolling in BronxNet's media training classes. On this show, you'll get to see the many ways that our certified producers have created a space that's all their own. Emerging Media Makers, your passion lives here.
And we are back. Guess what? For over 75 years, Artuso Pastry Shop has brought traditional Italian baking right into your home. And guess what? The unwavering commitment to superior quality has earned countless awards and recognition. Now, in its fourth generation, it remains a family-owned and operated fixture right in New York. And joining us now is Artuso's Pastry Shop's owner and president, Anthony J. Artuso Sr., and manager, Natalia Corridori.
You got it.
There it is. I'm doing good. Good to see you. Good to have you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
us. Thank you.
Listen, I mean, you guys have been around for a while, a long while,
Yeah.
and making things happen and making so many smiles on families. We got a whole lot here to talk about, but first let's talk about the business. And tell me a little bit about, it's a family-owned business, and
Yes,
you've been doing it
yes.
for a while.
My father came from Italy. He was 13 years old. He came with his brother, 2 sisters, and that was his first job. The original owner of the pastry shop, my father went to work there. Went into service for 5 years, came out, bought the shop from the original owner. That's Artuso history. It's over 75 years now, over 75 years. So.
And you're busy because I go by and I see, and listen, somebody's always in.
Thank God.
Thank God, right?
Yeah.
And it's good. So let's talk a little bit about the community itself because they respond to certain things and they see certain things and they're like, hey, I need this in my house. So let's talk about what we have here on our table and some of the most more popular.
Okay, some of the things that we're most known for is our cannolis. We're famous for our cannolis, also our sfogliatelles. And not too far behind is the black and white cookie that is a native New York cookie.
Okay, I'm gonna get the black and white cookie. I'm gonna try to lift it up here so that way they can see. This is the black and white cookie. Which camera do you want me to come to? There you go. The black and white cookie. Go ahead.
Our cookie trays, assorted pastry trays, and now this is a new product that we came out with a few years ago. It's a cannoli flat party tray with a cannoli cream dip. Great for parties, like Super Bowl parties, birthday parties. You just grab a chip, dip it, and grab a bite.
And so when we talk about cannolis, it's the heart of what you do.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody loves the cannoli. What goes into the cannoli?
Oh, now you're asking a lot.
I'm not telling you to give me the secret sauce.
You can't leave if I tell you.
Okay, I can't leave.
Oh,
Give me an idea.
There's sugar, flavorings. That's basically it. But you have to use a good cheese.
Right.
Nice creamy cheese. Otherwise, it tastes gritty. We use top quality ingredients.
Absolutely. That's why everybody's always there. And I don't want you to give away the family secrets because I don't want to mess it up. But listen, as we talk about the different things that are out here for the summertime, what are people gravitating towards, Natalia?
Ice cream cakes. That's huge for us.
Yes.
Ice cream cake sales go through the roof during the summer.
Yeah.
But a nice, refreshing beverage too. We do frappuccinos. We do Italian ices.
Italian ices, right?
Those are great for the summer. Anything that's a nice cold take on what we do is usually a big seller in the summer.
Yeah. And so for parties, people come to you, parties, work events, the whole 9 yards. Right. What are you doing more these days?
A lot of custom cakes.
Yes.
We have a big business for custom cake ordering. And if you ever go on our website, shop.artusopastry.com, we have a feature that's called Build Your Own Cake. And you could build a cake from the sponge to the filling to the icing.
Online, yeah.
Online?
Even drop your photo in there and we'll scan it right onto the cake. Right. All done online. You never even have to come in the store.
A lot of businesses suffered during COVID. I know you had a lot of challenges as well. Talk to me about how that was for you and really making the recovery right now.
Well, we were closed 5 weeks.
Yeah, we were closed about 5-6 weeks. We reopened for Mother's Day week. We missed Easter that year. That was our first Easter closed in 78 years coming up in August. But we came back for Mother's Day, and we didn't anticipate that it would be as busy as it was, but we came back, we had half the staff, and we had a line going around the corner.
Yeah, busy,
Yeah, it was record numbers.
They were mad at us because we closed.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think, when it tastes good and people want it, they want it when they want it. And, the problem is that we just couldn't get it, so that was it. But what do you find to be, for you as a family, the secret to longevity? Because there are a lot of places, family-owned businesses that don't last that long.
It's like a cake. It's like the perfect cake mix.
Right.
So you have to have the right ingredients. We are blessed with an amazing staff. We couldn't do this without the staff. That's number one. And then everything else that comes into play. Obviously, the customer base that we have that, came from the Bronx, we're grateful for that. It's not just that, it's the quality of work.
They're great. It's like a family.
Right.
Like a family.
It's the product. If you offer a good product and you're consistent with it, you're going to get people that keep coming back.
Right. So before we leave, let's lift up a little product towards the camera so they get a chance to see again. People who may not know. So what do we have here?
This is a cookie tray. We happened to drop it when we were
twice.
Twice. But it kind of survived. So only a few minor casualties. We have cannoli kits here, and we could fill it for you if you guys like.
So I have
we bought the scissors.
Okay,
so we
here's the
sell
scissors.
these online, and you could actually get these nationally.
go ahead.
No, it's okay. So with the cannoli cream, you buy it frozen, and you could keep it frozen for about a couple of months if you need to.
I'll take the scissors.
Thank you. So you just grab the cannoli, and this is fun for the kids. I do this for all the holidays, and the kids fight over the filling the cannolis. Everybody wants to be a pastry chef, and this is a nice start to it. So, and we pass
Are y'all
around.
hungry back there? I just want you to know. Are you hungry back? I see you.
Here's somebody's birthday here today. We would have bought a
Yes!
cake had we known.
And listen, it's my producer's birthday, and we'll talk about that before we close the show. But yeah, she can have. I'm filling these up. You're filling these up for. She'll have them. She'll be the first one to have them.
Okay, I'll start putting them in the tray if you want, so that because you're gonna run out of right here.
We're going right here?
You're going to run out of room.
There you go. Look,
So this is as easy as it is, and kids love this, and you could buy these nationally. We have two websites, one for our local customers for in-store pickup or local deliveries, and we also have, which is shop.artusopastry.com, and we have a website for national shipping for all our beloved customers that have left the area. They could get these goodies nationally, but that would be artusopastry.com. Different from shop.artusopastry.com.
And as we can see, this is very easy to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So a family event that the kids can come together and do that.
Yeah, definitely.
If I could do it, I know right? So they're.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah, I might as well. Go ahead. What am I doing here? Here we go.
All right, so you grip it in your hand, you palm it.
Okay.
Hold on.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I gotta push the cream down.
This is not an indictment against. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
There you go.
Beautiful.
And pull it out as you push it in.
Oh,
there you go. That's it. There you go.
I got it.
There you go.
Flip it around. You don't want to give a half-filled cannoli. Customers don't like that.
No, they don't.
There you go.
See?
Very nice.
My house, 3 o'clock. Be there. All right. Listen, while we're doing this, I want my producer to come downstairs, so I'm telling him to come downstairs right now while we're doing this anyway, but go ahead. So, for people who want to find out where you're located, tell them.
We're located in the heart of Little Italy. Our address is 670 East 187th Street, Bronx, New York, 10458. And if you ever want to give us a ring, 718-367-2515.
And so, for yourself, the community, you always reference them and how much they've been a blessing to you. Talk to us about that relationship, because
it's great. It's great. It's like a big family. Who's 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Children come in. It's nice. We have a great bunch of customers. Great. Good. It's like a big family.
It is.
Big family. That's just what it's like. That's why it's another reason why we've been successful. You take care of the customer takes care of you.
That's it.
That's worked. That's worked. It worked for 75 years.
Whoa. And still going.
And still going, yes.
And so I want to thank you both for coming and sharing.
Thanks for having us.
And hopefully people will come on and take part in this. And, it's a great family-owned business, but not only is it a great family-owned business, it's great food, y'all. And I want you to know, Italian pastries, come to the Artuso Bakery, check it out. I guarantee you, Artuso Pastry, I should say, check it out. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Listen, I got to do this before we leave. She brought it up. today is a very special day. It is a special day. It's a national holiday. It is the birthday for my producer, Latricia Burton. And I need you to know, like, you see me out here, but she is the one who really holds it down. She holds it down. She keeps me going. And for years, we've been doing this. And so I can't do it without her. And I just want to take the time right now to wish her a very happy birthday. Come on, girl. We want to wish you a very happy birthday. Let everybody see who you are.
Happy birthday!
She doesn't get a chance.
Happy birthday.
You're going to have one of these special cannolis, and I think we may even have something special for you, too. Thank you. Want to wish you a happy birthday. All right? Listen, so what camera am I closing out the show on? This one right here? All right, so we're going to close out the show with Latricia right here. All right, so listen, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website, artusopastry.com. Then follow them on Instagram at Artuso Pastry. And we encourage you, don't go anywhere. Guess what? We'll be back more open right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
And we are back. Summer is upon us, and it's the perfect time to soak up the sun, embrace some new adventures, and create some lasting memories. And join me now, we've got the author of Your Fully Charged Life and Lifestyle. We've got lifestyle expert Meaghan B. Murphy. And Meaghan, thank you for joining us.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Listen, we are all excited about this time of year. At least I am. I know that this is the time of year for the great outdoors. And, you know, when it comes to outdoors, we talk about outdoor adventures. So if a person has some downtime and, you know, watching movies online, what do you recommend?
So this is important to me as a parent. I have 3 kids, ages 13, 12, and 10, and they have more downtime in the summer. They're going to be on their screens, they're going to be on their devices, but I want to make sure they are streaming safely, that they don't stumble upon any pirated content or illicit streaming sites. And that's where StreamSafely.com comes in. It's a really good resource, especially for parents. Go to StreamSafely.com, look for the Summer Camp tab, and then look for the checklist. There is a safe streaming checklist that's really important for families. It's going to help you protect your kids and watch without worry. They also do some really great recommendations. I never know what to watch with the family. They give you movie picks, they give you TV picks, and where to watch those safely. They also have some brain gain recommendations, which is programming that's going to maybe help your kids learn a little something while they're entertained. And this is all on StreamSafely.com.
Okay, StreamSafely.com is the place to go. And listen, talk about the place to go. Sometimes it's our very own homes that are the place to go. People are coming to our houses. We got to do some entertaining. Got to let the people come by, whether it's a meal, whether it's just to hang out. Any tips you want to give and share for us if I'm going to be the hostess with the mostest?
Oh, yeah. So I pride myself on being the hostess with the mostest. I love to entertain. The best tip I can have is don't be forced to leave the party because you ran out of hot dog buns or chips for the homemade guac. Make sure you're fully stocked. And if you're not, you can rely on Shipt. So Shipt, SHIP.com, is the ultimate delivery sidekick. For $99, you get a yearly membership, free delivery same day from some of your favorite stores like Target, CVS, Costco, Petco, your local grocery store. Free delivery on any order over $35 right at your doorstep. So I could be watching the pool, manning the grill, and have those buns come right to my doorstep.
That's awesome. Listen, I am a person that reads books quite frequently. I do about 60 a year. So I know about this time of year. Yeah, I do about 60. Tell me a little bit about picking up where you are right now as an author. This time, summertime, what's a great read?
So, of course, I'm going to recommend my
Yes,
book,
we're
Your
going to do
Fully
that.
Charged Life, right? Like, how can I not,
Right.
It's a great pool read. It's going to help you live with more energy and more optimism and joy. But if you want your yard to really be an oasis, you got to control the clutter. And I don't want to leave here without giving you my recommendation for the best yard storage on the planet. It is from Keter, Keter.com. These deck boxes are gorgeous. They're made out of resin, but they look like wood. They're not going to rot. They're not going to rust or discolor. I got a one-car garage and a lot of stuff and a lot of kids. We have the 150-gallon box, and all of the lacrosse equipment, lawn chairs, pool supplies are all neatly tucked away in this good-looking deck box from Keter.com. So if you want that reading sanctuary in the yard, you got to control the mess, tame the clutter.
Right. Meaghan, we got to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us, and I'm glad, and certainly we enjoy having you, and best wishes, author, and then also she is the lifestyle specialist here. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty, listen, now if you want more information, visit the website, MeaghanBMurphy.com. I want to let you know we come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch Recablecast on Optimum's Channel 67, Verizon Files Channel 2133, or watch us anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. And then you can catch a brand new episode of Open with my girl, Rena Valentine, on Friday. Again, a very special happy birthday to our producer, Miss Latricia Burton. We want to let you know, make sure you do all that you can to keep this channel wide open. I am Daren Jaime saying take care, God bless. Talk to you soon. We got some eating.